So the first one, you're taking the 3, you're plugging it in. Pick a color you can see. Taking the 3, plugging it in. 2y minus 3 equals 7. Oh, I'm not on the screen. That would be... Okay, 2y equals 10, y equals 5, and then I'm going to take the z and plug it in. I'm going to take the y and plug it in. 3x plus 5 plus 2 times 3 equals 8. 3x plus 5 plus 6 equals 8. 3x plus 11, children, equals 8. 3x equals negative 3, and x equals negative 1. Now I've got the x, the y, the z. And you're going to write them on, I give you like a little line on your quiz. You're going to give them to me on the little y, okay? If you get a question wrong and I can't follow your work to give you partial credit, I won't be able to help you out. So help me help you, okay? Even if you get a question wrong, whether it's a sign change or whatever, but I can follow your process, your partial credit might be pretty good. It's just you have to be organized enough for me to figure out what you did. And for the love of God, don't erase your work because I can't give you anything. You have to have the work to back your answer. If you have no work and an answer, you're not getting any credit. If you have no work and no answer, it's even worse, okay? Because I can't even help you where I could have. All right, so then this is 1, 2, and 3. And again, I would say I want to plan ahead. So I could have I probably would have done like 1 with 2 and gotten rid of the x's, or 1 with 2 and then 3 with 2 and gotten rid of the z's. How many of you got rid of the x's? Just so I know who had the most. How many of you got rid of the z's? Anybody get rid of the y's? Okay, so we went x's mostly. So let's say we start with 1 and 2. To get rid of the x's, I'd have to multiply 1 by 2. So I get 2x plus 4y. Say again. I'm using 1 and 3. Yes, sorry. I'm using 1 and 3. Minus 2z equals 6. And then I use 3. Negative 2x minus y minus 3z equals 8. Cancels 3y minus 5z equals 14. And then I'm going to write new one. Then I have to use 2, which is 3x plus 7y minus 5z equals 14. And I would pick 1 because all I have to do is multiply that by a negative 3. Negative 3x minus 6y plus 3z equals negative 9. These cancel. Y minus 2z equals 5. And that's my new 2. Then I use new 1 and new 2. And I have to cancel out another variable. So I multiply the bottom by negative 3. Negative 3y plus 6z equals negative 15. And I get z equals negative 1. There's the first one. Then I can take it and plug it back into either of the new ones. So maybe the bottom one because it has less coefficients. Y minus 2 times negative 1 equals 5. Y plus 2 equals 5. And y equals 3. There's the second one. And then I have to take it and plug it back into one of my originals. So I'm going to grab the first one. X plus 2 times 3 minus a negative 1 becomes plus 1 equals 3. X plus 6 plus 1 equals 3. X plus 7 equals 3. And x equals negative 4. Questions? This is the partial fraction decomposition. So the first thing we have to do here is factor the denominator. Factors of negative 8 that sum to negative 2 would be negative 4 and positive 2. And then we're going to split. Each factor gets its own fraction. And the numerators go A, B, C, and so on and so forth. Then we multiply by what we're missing. So what does A get multiplied by? In my example, you might have switched your denominators, which is fine. The order doesn't matter. But this one gets x plus 2, and B would get x minus 4. And then I ignore all the denominators, and I just focus on the numerators. And I figure out what's going to make those x's go away. So if I solve these factors, I get x equals 4 and x equals negative 2. I'm going to plug those in one at a time. When I plug in the 4, it's going to eliminate the b, so I don't even need it. 3 times 4 minus 1 equals a times 4 plus 2. 12 minus 1 equals a times 6. 11 equals a times 6. And a equals 11 over 6. Then b, or for the x equals negative 2, I'm going to plug it in. It's going to eliminate the a, so I don't need it. 3 times negative 2 minus 1 equals, this would go away, b, negative 2 minus 4, negative 6 minus 1 equals b times negative 6, negative 7 equals b times negative 6, and b equals 7/6. Now, this is the first time we've gotten fractions on this, and I obviously wanted to go over it because it's different how you write these. You cannot leave a fraction in the numerator of a fraction. You can't give a complex number. So if I were to plug these back in, I would end up with 11 over 6 over x minus 4 plus 7 over 6 over x plus 2. But you can't leave it like that. The easiest way to do it, we could go through the whole keep, change, flip process, but the easiest way to do it is bring the denominator of your numerator down in front of the denominator. So it's 11 over 6 times x minus 4 plus 7 over 6 times x plus 2. You could leave it like that. Standardized tests will usually actually pull the 1/6 out. So if this was multiple choice, you would usually see it as 1/6, 11 over x minus 4 plus 7 over x plus 2. Both of these I will take on your test. This has to be simplified. You cannot leave a complex fraction in your answer. Camille. You do not need to distribute it. Nope. Yeah. Say again. Sure. Yeah, it's just an extra step you don't need to take. So again, this is not on your quiz, but it is on the test, which is the following week. Okay, quiz on Monday, test on Monday. So it is on that test. And we will do the repeated factors, which is the last little bit of 7-3. We'll do that and 7-4 next week, and then we'll review, and then your test will be the following Monday. Questions for me? Okay, we're on it. So quiz review, again, there's going to be, and like look at your quiz review. You've got some that are relatively easier. You've got some with fractions. You definitely are going to see either something with a fraction or a decimal. And then you've got your nonlinear. So something like number 5, I would say at this point, you can try substitution or elimination, but maybe one's easier than the other. Do not eliminate this. Like, don't worry about the squareds. Go with the other variable. So if it says x squared, I'm going to eliminate the y. But that usually means there's factoring involved and that there could be more than one answer, okay? So the key for this is posted, and also examples like these are on the video. The link is in Canvas next to it. Then you've got your examples of your graphing. And then these are, again, the word problems. So there's some sort of an interest word problem like this one. You're going to get number 9 is your cost and revenue function for the break-even point. Number 10 is your equilibrium point of your supply and demand. And then there will be some other systems of equation. It could be perimeter. It could be ticket sales. It could be what we did grapefruits and oranges yesterday, but something like that where you have to create your own, okay? There will not be a number 11 on your quiz. I just don't think you'll have enough time. But obviously that process is built into number 12. Where you have to actually solve it. You'll get to 1, you'll take it, you'll plug it back into the one with 2, you'll take it, you'll plug it back into the one with 3, okay? Of equations, like they might seem like relatively-ish smaller numbers, but you can really overcomplicate it. You could really be multiplying by bigger numbers depending on the path that you take. That is where your calculator can help you, okay? I don't need anybody to make mistakes by multiplying along that process. Questions as far as expectations go? Okay, so I'm going to go back. This is the 3rd page on that PDF. Next to it, it says skip the 3rd page. I did not put partial fractions. I took the partial fractions off your quiz. They will come back for your test, but they are not on your quiz, okay? Your quiz is 8 questions because some of them just take so much longer. I'm going to give you a good chunk of time. I'll probably give you 40 minutes. Normally I get 30, but I'll probably give you 40 minutes on it. So just be prepared. Be careful. Go slow and cautious. One missed negative, one stupid mistake leads to a frustrating rest of your time. They are all whole numbers for the systems of 3 equations. So if you get to the first one and you get something like 17 over 432, it's wrong. Start it again, okay? But don't waste too much time on it.
We
Correct. It just says solve. The graphing says graph, but the other, and I gave you a graph, but then the other, they just say solve.
So do we have to solve by graphing?
You have to for one. Yeah. And then I would say make sure you bring a scientific calculator. I do not have one to lend you. My child has taken it. Okay? You need your own scientific calculator. You cannot share them. This is not, it's possible to do it without it. It is a lot harder when you're dealing with those word problems to do it without it. And even to just do like simple numbers at the end. So these